Hello, in this video, I want to talk about how to become a freelance web developer in 2024. And this is a tricky topic because if you're just starting out learning to code, one of the biggest issues that people have is trying to get and find jobs. So what happens, you try applying, you can't get hired, and you're like, I am going to be a freelancer. So the short of it, becoming a freelancer is very difficult. So in this video, I want to talk about a realistic approach that you could take either while job hunting and looking to find freelance work as a side hustle, or if you're working and you're trying to transition or create a side hustle that will allow you to make some income and find clients, this is a path for you. And this is not something that I'm just going to tell you. This is actually something that I'm doing. So I'm going to share with you my strategy of what I would do if I were to become a freelancer as a self-taught developer. So let's jump right into it. So here's a basic outline that I have, and I will explain everything here in just a second. And so what are the reasons, or what are we trying to accomplish? So what if we want to figure out how to try to make money while learning to code or start freelancing, or this is something that you want to do. Now, I like this approach because this is going to allow you to improve the basic skills of development that you are learning when just starting out, but it's also going to help you to start thinking as a freelancer or a business person to help you try to see if being a freelancer is the path for you. Here's the note: there are no shortcuts or easy paths. This all is going to take work. So sometimes focusing on just studying, improving your coding skills to get a job might be the path for you. But with that being said, if I were to start a freelancing agency, which I can't start right now because I'm working, but I want to prepare myself to have all the knowledge necessary that when I am able to, I could take advantage of it. And what I'm going to do on this YouTube channel is I'm going to walk you through this path of what I'm doing to build the skills and doing to get clients. And if I do get clients, I'm just gonna pass that job to my friends who are developers and do freelancing, because at the moment I don't have time to take any side gigs, but I do want to develop the skill of building a business, which is the most important part. So the path that I want to talk to you about if you're a brand new developer is this basic approach. And we're going to talk about tools that do involve some coding. For instance, I do have this side caveat here where if you want to find low code approach and you just want to build small business websites, which we're still going to talk about building small business websites, and we'll talk about our offering in just a minute, but you can use a site like Wix, Squarespace, WordPress, or Webflow, etc., to be able to build simple website and actually create a service or an offering that could generate your money. But this is not what we're going to spend the most time on. What I want to do in this video is talk about if you are doing the traditional path of learning HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, learning a framework like Next.js, how can you take these skills that you're learning and create an offering for your clients that you could create freelancing projects either while you're still learning, or if you're already working and you want to make some side hustle money. The biggest caveat about this is that there's a lot of things that need to happen for you to be able to freelance. For instance, being able to find clients, having an offering, and also being able to deliver the skill, as well as a myriad of other things you're going to do. In today's video, I'm going to give you a big picture overview, and more importantly, talk about the skills that I think everyone should have if you want to try to enter into freelancing. And if you don't have these skills as a challenge, I would suggest you try to build a project based on the things that I talk about in this video. As a developer, you want your job to be easy and you want to save time. That is why we're not going to build everything from scratch, but we're still not going to rely on low-code tools because we are a developer. We want to flex that developer muscles. So when clients come to you, or if you're going to have an offering for the clients, the offering, and you should only have one, it should be very simple. And it could be a small business website, which basically showcases the business information and their services that they offer, maybe have a blog section. This is where we're going to start for now. And so the basis of this whole way and offering is to make your job easier. So I don't want to develop stuff from scratch. So I'm going to rely on finding or buying themes that are already created. When I used to work at a marketing agency, when we used to have clients, we literally had a UI person that would come and have a conversation with what the folks wanted. And then we would actually take a look at what themes we could find that closely fit what they want and use those as a starting point. Now, we're not going to use WordPress here. I just use it as an example because this is a job that I had before. Now, whenever your customer has their front end, you build their website, the thing that you don't want to do is constantly have to manage that website for them, like changing data, adding pictures, adding content. That's why we're going to focus on a headless CMS. That will allow us to simplify the process. And we want to make sure that we have a very easy way to deploy the final project. So we are not working in DevOps. We're just finding an easy deploy solution to have that done for us. And so let's talk about it. And I'm going to show you some of the example websites, but let's look at a quick overview. Number one, we're going to start with finding simple themes they could easily use for your clients. And two of my favorite places when you're starting out and learning, you just want to try out some themes, is Tailwind Awesome and Theme Forest. So if we take a look here, if you go to Tailwind Awesome website, you could find a lot of awesome themes here. That could be a starting point, and a lot of them are free for your client's project. What's awesome, I actually found this theme here, Nextly, and what I did is I used it to create my own project. Now, the theme that you find here, it's very simple. All the data is hard-coded, but what I did is I took that theme and I expanded it. So when I was working on this theme, the funny part, it was in Next 13, but it wasn't using App Router. So what I actually did is I went ahead, I contacted this dude, and I said, hey, let me go ahead and make a PR and update the theme to use App Router folder. A little side note, sometimes by looking at these things, you might have opportunities where you could contribute to open source projects, which is pretty awesome. But I digress. So I found that theme and I took this theme and I used it to create a super awesome web page. And this is an example of a very simple landing page that you could make more complex, but once you have the theme, you don't have to make it from scratch, but you could update it to your client's needs and specification. Now, once you have a theme, and another great place to find amazing themes, and this is another website I use, is Theme Forest, or now they're called Envato Market. But here, for instance, I Googled Next.js themes, and you could find amazing themes built for you, ready to go. And so when you take a look, for instance, here's a theme. Let's take a preview. You might have this amazing website. Wow, I actually really like how this looks. My goodness, I bought another theme, but I think I like this one better. You know what? I'm not gonna buy it right now, but I'm gonna save it. But check this out. You already have a theme, a beautiful website. And with themes like this, a lot of times, all this data is hard-coded in the actual project, which is kind of cool. But as a developer, you don't want to hardcore this data. You want your user, your client, to be able to go to a backend and be able to update. Let's say they want to update this header or this paragraph here, or they want to change the menu. You want to make that easy for them to do. And that is why the next step in our process is familiarize yourself with Headless CMS. I think the only CMS you should use is Strapi, but I did mention directives. There's many out there. But the best part about that, they allow you to easily create backends for your front-end projects, hence Headless CMS. It doesn't have the front end, that you could connect the two together and have a cool project. And so my favorite CMS is Strapi. And what's awesome, you get this amazing backend area, which allows your users or your clients to add content that your front-end application would consume. And I'm going to show you an example of that in just a second, but let's take a look at Directus. It's also a CMS that's available. And what's awesome, it doesn't matter what CMS you use, as long as you use your favorite one and the one that you feel is going to be the easiest for your clients to update. And what's awesome, by doing that, you save yourself a lot of time because you're not building things from scratch. For instance, combining a theme from Theme Forest and connecting it to a CMS like Strapi, you're able to create amazing applications which give your client admin area where they could change their data. And before I show you a demo, let me take a look at my notes. And let me show you our demo quickly first of a walkthrough, then I'll quickly hit my last few points here. So if you take a look here, I have my front end deployed on Vercel. Here's the homepage that's living on Vercel. And then I have my backend area hosted on Strapi Cloud, which is serving this amazing Strapi backend. And when you take a look, if we look at the content manager, you could see that I have global, and as you could see, it has the image link, it has the navigations, it has the footer. And so what that is doing is controlling this top nav. So if a user updates that top navigation in the Strapi CMS, this will be automatically updated on the front end. Again, depending if it's statically built site, then you would fire a hook that will make the update, but that's besides the point. And it also controls all the information here in the footer. For instance, we have 3 social links here. If we take a look in our Strapi, scroll down, notice I have my social links. We also have our homepage, which is our main page, and it consists of blocks. And each block is a section that you see on our website. For instance, I will walk you through in just a second. Here we have our landing page, our section header, our content items, our content items again, and these are like reusable blocks that you could dynamically use to structure your data in Strapi that is going to be consumed by your application. For instance, when I scroll up here, you notice I have my header, and this header data is not hard-coded, but it is controlled by our Strapi instance. So if I take a look at here, notice, boom, we see all this information that is being served here. And I just realized, taking a look here, free landing page templates are for startups. I might be showing you a different front end because I also created another website as a demo. So let me go back to Vercel. Here, let's see, is it, I have too many projects, Strapify, I think this is 5, Strapi 5, I think it's this one. But it's no big deal because I have these projects already deployed, ready to go. No, this is still Strapi 5. I have too many projects that I deployed, but I just want to show you that, this is actually being powered by Strapi. So I found the correct project that's deployed. That here, if you take a look here on Strapi, we see free landing template for startups and has the Strapify as a free landing page for marketing. And you could see here, that is where we're getting the data. So what I love about this is that you're able to easily create websites without spending too much time. And for instance, we have our match made in heaven, Strapi next. This is our section. So if we take a look at our Strapi instance, you see here's our content block that controls that section of our website. And so if we update the data or change the information, I don't have to do it as a developer. The client could easily log in into their Strapi dashboard and do it. So I will make more videos. I'm actually going to make the exact video I'm demonstrating. I'm going to walk you through the process of how to take a already completed Next.js template and how to Strapify it or hook it up to Strapi. I'm not saying you have to use Strapi, but Strapi is my favorite. But I did mention that there's many different CMS options. So I'm going to show you in next few videos how to go ahead and create this exact project and how to connect it to Strapi. This way, you get good practice of having a basic skill of going from not having a website to creating a website. And here, like I showed before, I am deploying all my project to Vercel, which make it much easier. But you have other services like Netlify or DigitalOcean. And to simplify my deployment project for Strapi, I am using Strapi Cloud, where I have multiple Strapi projects already deployed. So with that being said, let's just finish up in the last section here. So whenever you're looking to start a business, what you need to do, you need to know who your target clients are. The biggest mistake you can make is try to sell to everybody, and you will fail. And so the first thing you want to do is identify who is going to be your client. So in my case, I'm going to target small businesses to start with. You could always go up. I think it's easier to start by offering less than trying to create this big agency where you do everything. So for me, I'm going to target small businesses, for instance, restaurants, coffee shops, martial arts schools, gyms, anyone who needs a business website that might have basically informational section, their schedule, and a blog with their news, and they need to have the power to update the information themselves. So that is my target audience. So the next thing I need to do is I need to identify what is my offering that I'm able to deliver on. So I already have the idea, and that's what I shared with you. For me, my offering is this trifecta of having and using themes that I could jumpstart the development process where I'm not starting from scratch, to utilizing a headless CMS like Strapi or Directus. There are many others to allow me to add a backend to my project and have an amazing admin area for my clients to use, and only focus on easy deploys. I'm not going to work and worry about Amazon AWS or Kubernetes or Docker. Screw that stuff. I don't want to spend my time tinkering with development. I am going to rely on paid solutions that make my job easier, and it doesn't matter because that is something I'm going to charge the client for. So solutions like Vercel, Netlify, Strapi Cloud, DigitalOcean. So my service would be using technologies Next.js, preferably using a theme, using a headless CMS like Strapi, and any one of the deployment solutions that I mentioned here. So I know what my service is, and you need to be sure that you only have one service. I am only going to create websites for small businesses. I already told you what type, and I know exactly the type of website I'm going to build, and I'm just going to sell that one service. So if someone says, I need a phone app or a web app, I need a video game, I'll be like, no. All I specialize in, especially as someone who's starting new at freelancing, is only one service that you could iterate on. And so the first service for me is small business informational websites targeting yoga studios, martial arts, restaurants, coffee shops, and so on. And once you have that offering and you know that you have the skill to be able to deliver on that service, you now have to start on figuring out how are you going to find clients. Once you have a basic service, the most important part is marketing your services. And one of the things that I did not mention here at Market and Promote, the most important and the best way to start is word of mouth. And this is the important part where I say you should have one service and not to focus too much on the offering, because you need to first make sure that you could find clients. And there's many ways to do that, but I'm going to mention the ones that I'm going to do. So word of mouth is number one. Number two is creating content on YouTube, basically showcasing how you build websites, showcasing your skills. Most people are going to find value in your content. And some people are going to say, you know what? I don't want to build this thing myself. I just want to hire someone to build it for you. So that's one way to market on YouTube or blog posts. And you could have a call to action saying, hey, if you need any help, I'll be more than happy to help you build your website. Also, going to forums where small businesses hang out is very important. There's many forums where you could find small business owners talking about all the different things that they're looking or services that they're looking. So figure out where those conversations are happening, go hang out there and answer common questions. You know what you could do? You could hang out on WordPress forums where people ask questions, be like, you know what, you don't need WordPress. Let me build you a custom solution using the methods that I outlined here. And also you could promote on LinkedIn and on Twitter. Again, I gave you a very high overview, and it's definitely much harder than I described it here. Marketing and promoting is its own thing, but I think that when you're starting at the beginning, that's something that we will get better as we continue to improve. So just know who your client is, create your offer, make sure you only focus on one offer, be able to deliver on that offer, and start marketing and promoting. And in these videos, I'm going to continue to make and share what I'm learning on how to become a freelancer as a self-taught developer. So if I were to give you a call to action today, one challenge I would say, go ahead to Tailwind Awesome, find a cool template that you like, and pretend you have a client who's asking you to build them a business website, possibly with a blog, that should allow them a way to manage their own content. And you could literally do this Netlify template, but there's many others. And go ahead and create a project similar to what I did here, and find a cool headless CMS that you could add as your backend and combine the two together. So this way you could have your clients being able to manage their data right inside their admin panel, which is pretty cool. And at any moment, if you get stuck, no worries, because I'm going to, in the next few videos, actually show you how to take this template and add a backend so you could have a client-ready website that you could offer as a service. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. But the goal for this channel is to cover two topics. Number one, how to break into the industry as someone who's looking to switch careers later in life. And if you can't break into industry, which you still can, and don't worry about the AI, continue to develop the skills that also allow you to build your own services and your own products so you could possibly have a second way of freelancing. I actually went backwards where I started with freelancing and I really sucked at sales, and I ended up finding a job as a developer, which I continued up to this day. But now I'm excited to give the shot again and hopefully be able to learn enough about how to market my services better to be able to get my own clients. So thank you for jumping on this journey with me, and I'd love to share everything I learned from all the things that I'm doing, and I hope you find value. So any questions that you have, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.